On to our second challenge spotlight of the day. This is going to be about artifact, mounting, right? Something very challenging. So all the way from the wildlife reserve all the way to the museums, right? The title of this challenge is a virtual approach to sense, visualize, and optimize artifact mounting. Now, what it's all about? I'm going to get our two guests from ACM as well as from NHB to present. It's going to be a tech team presentation. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Harun Nizam bin Samion. He's the exhibition officer at ACM, the Asian Civilization Museum, as well as Ms. Ariane Low. Ariane, I got it correct. Ariane Low, assistant manager at NHB as well. So both of them will be tech teaming to tell you more about this very exciting challenge. So please take it away, Harun Nizam and Ariane. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Billy. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Ariane. I'm from the National Heritage Board, where we work to preserve and share Singapore's heritage and culture. We manage several museums and heritage institutions, including the Asian Civilizations Museum, or ACM. And today I'm very happy to be joined by my colleague Hyrule from the ACM.
Thank you, Ariane. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hyrule from the Exhibition Technical Services Department in ACM. The ACM oversees one of the most comprehensive museum collections in the region and deal with a huge quantity of artifacts. To give you some perspective, our Tang Shipwreck Gallery alone displays more than 1,000 pieces of ceramics, gold, and silver. In the Exhibition Technical Services Department, we work closely with curators, conservators, exhibition managers, exhibition designers, and fabricators to bring an exhibition to life. One of the many tasks we undertake is to provide specialized mounting for artifacts to be displayed with adherence to standards set by conservators at the Heritage Conservation Center. For this OIP, we have put forward this challenge statement. How might we intelligently sense and visualize an artifact to optimize the mount fabrication process for greater time savings? Before we carry on, some of you might be wondering about mount making itself. Mount making is highly customized to meet the special needs of every artifact. They require manual matching of suitable mount styles as each artifact requirements vary. Mount making also requires a high level of attention from the mount maker. Currently, all 4 officers in ACM are trained to create mounts for artifacts. All artifacts on display have unique dimensions, materials, weak points, weight distribution, and other characteristics. To ensure that they are displayed securely and with the least damage possible, these artifacts rest on mounts. Just to name a few, artifact mounts can include handmade brass or stainless steel support, use of insect pins, or acrylic book cradle. They provide support, protects artifacts and visitors from harm, as well as preserve the integrity of the sculpture or objects on display. In the next few slides, I'm going to share with you several steel and handmade brass mounts in ACM. Seen here, the mount provides support for the objects that are weak or deteriorated. It supports the different parts of the stone sculpture for it to be displayed in a standing posture. At times, artifacts need to be displayed in a specific orientation. For this, steel mounts were designed by a mount maker and fabricated by an appointed contractor. This is another example of meeting the requirement to display in a specific orientation. This is an adjustable mount that can be adjusted to almost any angle. Other consideration for mounting includes addressing curatorial intent. This is an open display in Tang Shipwreck Gallery. In our jewelry gallery, unique mounts with a combination of die-cut acrylic and brass are fabricated for objects that need a rigid support and are too flexible to be displayed by itself. Lastly, support mounts are also fabricated for objects that are too fragile to be handled. Next, I'm going to share with you our current process for fabricating mounts. First, after obtaining and identifying the physical artifact, we either take new measurements or confirm previous ones. We discuss display requirements with curators and conservators, example, how it fits into the exhibition style, if it is better suited for wall mounting or showcase mounting. We then work to identify suitable mount styles, often based on our experience and drawing from certain set styles for mounts. In the fabrication phase, we either send the mounts for fabrication or fabricate them in-house. And once we obtain the physical mount, we clear it with the curators. After that, we rework and adjust the mounts as required for us to finally mount the artifact and put it on display. Often, further adjustments and painting of mounts are required after display.
So as you can see, this current process relies very much on mount fabricators and their own expertise in designing and crafting mounts. The ACM deals with hundreds and thousands of artifacts, so the current mount making workflow could benefit from greater time efficiency. Indeed, highly customized mounts require a lot of back and forth discussion between Hyrol's team and curators. And on top of that, the current design and matching process is manual, so it's very time consuming. And as of now, there is no digital database of past mount styles which can serve as a reference. So here's the new process that we're very excited to test. To start with, if there is no digital copy of the artifact, we need to scan and create one. If it exists, we input it into software, which can generate possible mounting models based on the available information that's tagged to that digital copy. Then we send this via a link to the curators to further discussion. We can then fabricate the mount, rework it until final installation and display. So to reach this new process, the ACM is looking for a working prototype solution with imaging and AI capabilities to be able to perform artifact visualization, data capture, and help facilitate the sharing of designs for faster mount fabrication. I'll go over the solution features very broadly, but feel free to check out our challenge brief on the OIP website for more details. First, the solution should be able to accurately capture the artifact and its relevant data to be able to generate an accurate 3D model for molding. And we're talking about weight, dimensions, stress and weak points in the object, etc. We invite you to recommend a suitable data capturing source and other complementary sources of information. Next, the solution has to be able to automatically tag and archive past artifact and mount pairings to build this database of suitable matches. For the prototype, we ask that the solution be able to create and ingest a minimum of 60 mount models for a baseline repository. And from this repository, the solution should be able to intelligently match pre-modeled mounts to artifact models. For the prototype, the solution should be able to suggest appropriate mounts for up to 10 3D scanned artifacts. And this would be based on preset parameters. And finally, the solution should have machine learning capabilities to be able to continuously learn and improve its recommendations as we eventually increase the data input. Now, what's in it for you? So apart from the $30,000 of prize money, and for each winner of this challenge, you do gain access to other exciting resources, facilities, and opportunities. But above all, this is really a unique challenge to solve because it requires a very flexible and innovative approach. But it also puts 3D capture and visualization to very meaningful use for us. Now, for the evaluation criteria, apart from the general criteria which we've shared on the OIP platform, we've also shared some requirements that are very important to us in our challenge brief. The solution has to be user-friendly, keeping in mind that curators and fabricators are going to have to adopt this new workflow as well as this new software. It has to be cost-effective, and we'd very much like it to be adaptable for future developments that could potentially involve generative design, 3D printing, and other exciting future upgrades. As for the deadline, you have until the 28th of January, 2022 to send in your submissions, and we very much look forward to receiving your submissions. So thank you very much for your time, and we're open to your questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, very fascinating presentation by Ariane and Hyrol, representing NHB as well as ACM. Thank you very much. And we have questions flowing for you guys. So this is a very fascinating challenge. I believe this is one of the unique examples of why OIP is so powerful, because I believe that you can't just walk into any store and buy a solution for you guys, right? To generate this kind of virtual 3D data and have design virtual mounts and so on. So therefore, you need to tap on the ideas and the innovative solutions of our OIP community. So, and then I believe I have burning questions from the community on the screen right now. I'm going to answer them right now. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask them right now, and I'm going to invite Hyrule and Ariane to try to answer them. Okay, from Michael. Thank you, Michael, for your question. What does the museum use for 3D imaging currently to document all artifacts? Hyrule, you want to take this one?
Great question.
Yes, great question. Currently, not all, if I'm not mistaken, not all artifacts are being 3D scanned. I think it's really based on the need of the artifacts and the need of whether they need to be digitized or not. I think Arian can also jump in to talk about the 3D imaging part.
Sure. I mean, basically from this, you can kind of see that the whole 3D scanning and imaging process is not widespread at this current stage for us. And so if you're worried about suggesting a data source capture that's very different from what we would currently use, I'd say we're very open to your suggestions about that.
Okay. All right, a great answer there from Ariane and Harold. Okay, up next from Anonymous from the audience. How is the fragility of an artifact assessed currently? Do you guys take a hammer and just knock at it or something? Just kidding.
Hyrule, you're the expert on this.
Thank you, Hyrule.
I think first and foremost, it's really the human touch. We normally assess them by if we can hold the artifact, we will hold them, and then we assess them visually. I might be wrong, but at times also our conservators at HCC would run some tests to see if any parts of it are fragile. At times, maybe some wooden artifact or stone sculptures, they may seem steady from the outside, but they might be deteriorating from the inside. So for this, there's only so much the eye can see. So to answer how is the fragility assessed, it's really by various means, but first and foremost by visual and human touch.
Okay, thank you, Harold. That's a very good answer to a very, I think it's a very technical question, right? For people who are, museum buffs, I think they would like to ask a question. Okay, I'm going to ask for more questions on the floor before I let Ariane and Harold go. So basically, if you have one more burning question for them, I'm happy to host you right now. And Michael, thank you very much. Save me again. All right, okay, so Michael is back with one more question, and I believe he's very interested in this challenge, right? He says, fracture points and weight is not done via visual inspections. So X-ray inspection it's a way, but it may have damages. Do you guys want to comment on Michael's observation?
Sure. Actually, we've discussed this previously with Hyrule. For a lot of these more detailed assessments of the artifacts, the Heritage Conservation Center does have an extensive protocol for handling these different things. And oftentimes, Hyrule, correct me if I'm wrong, but the objects that arrive for mounting, they come along with data from the HCC, from these assessment that's attached to them. And we're also interested in being able to tag this information onto whatever 3D model that we create of these artifacts, so that we're able to keep this in mind when we make recommendations and input it in software.
Okay, Harold, do you have anything to add to this point? If not,
that's right, Arian. I think when they come to, so the first point of contact is normally HCC or conservators. They would do the condition checks first, and then they would include the data into a system where all of the investigated points are being input. And then from there, we also look through the notes and we see and really assess. I think that portion is really important from the conservators. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Harold. Okay, wow, another question for you guys, and this comes from James here, and James is also very serious about this. He is asking, do you mean that you won't consider 3D scanning and image stitching proposals? What do you guys say to this?
Can they be more detailed about it? Yeah. We're quite open to the sources of data capture. I think we've listed in certain examples in the challenge brief itself. It can be from smartphones or third-party handheld scanners, but we're also open to just see what works best, because not only does it have to be accurate. It has to be something that can be easily adopted by a high roles team, for example.
Okay, good point. So I will invite everybody to actually dive into the full details of the challenge on our portal, which is at www.openinnovation.sg to find out more of what exactly ACM and NHB are looking for in this solution. Yeah, but basically they're open to all sorts of possible innovative solutions that can solve this challenge, which is basically, I think they're looking for, in essence, a working prototype, right, with imaging and AI capabilities to optimize the mount making process, right, if I can summarize well. Okay, I see that there isn't any more questions. So, Ariane and Hyro, good news, you have time for a nice afternoon tea break right now. Okay, so thank you very much for a great presentation. Thank you for answering our burning questions. And ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to your submissions for this very interesting challenge, because I believe if your prototype works right, this solution can be adopted by many, probably thousands of museums worldwide. Right? I believe it's something that I think a lot of museums are looking for. So this is something that's going to be, you might even set up a whole trend. So basically, you have the opportunity to make innovation history together with this challenge, together with NHB and ACM. So I look forward to all the exciting proposals from you guys. So thank you very much, Hyro and Ariane. Thank you very much. And basically, when the solutions come, do let us know how you guys are evaluating it. I'm very personally, I'm very curious about this. So I hope to keep us updated on this. Thank you very much.
Will do. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.